So you're using AI. Now that you bought AI, right? You've been told all the great things about how it's going to make everything better, faster. You hear it from vendors all the time. It'll do everything you need to do. Reports and dashboards are going to be done much quicker. Uh, but the problem is, do the people who's building those, do they understand them? Like I said, 30 years of federal service, I've seen it. We did Power BI. We had some of the most beautiful dashboards come out. Everybody was sending out dashboards. And you start digging in, like, well, what's it mean? Well, I don't know. I used Power BI. I pulled the data. This is what it told me. So, here's where we see a lot of the failures. Was your organization really ready for AI, or did somebody just bring it in? Do you have the important part is, do you have the internal talent to actually do it? Right? Do you have the data scientists, the AI engineers to implement and maintain your AI solution? Because as you heard earlier today, if you were at the speaker, it's a constant rebuild, right? It's always rebuilding. It's not build once and forget it. And the big one, who's addressing your culture for your employees? Because if you've heard it, oh my God, I don't want an AI in here because it's going to take my job away. I'm going to be fired. So there's this big pushback from employees until somebody gets that culture done first, which is, it's not taking your job over. It's another tool. It's no different than using, you didn't get fired when we went from paper and pencil to typewriter to Word, right? It helped you write better. And then who's doing the AI training support for your new AI technology, your workflows? Who's doing that, right? There's nothing worse than having the IT department hand stuff out and go, this is a new tool, you're going to use it. And people are like, I don't even know how, so what's it do? It fails, it's in the agency, but nobody really uses it, right? And then you get told, well, we spent all this money on the last project I gave you to do AI and bring it in, and nobody's using it. Why would I give you money for your next project? So the big question is, why are you using AI? What are you trying to accomplish out of it? Where it helps is overwhelmed customer support, inefficient workflows, or repetitive tasks that just go over and over that you can quickly help people do the same thing. Research data, but it's not the end all. So even if you do your research with it, don't take that answer as that's true. You still have to go back and look at it. There was a lawsuit a while back, hasn't been that long, where attorneys were caught using AI to do their, because nobody went back to look at it and said, oh, the sites are wrong, right? Like that's not really the case, because AI, it will fill it up. It will make something out of nothing if it has to. And the importance of data. Where is the AI tool your organization is usually pulling its data from? Do you even know? Do you even know where your data's at? Right? Where do we see a lot of this? Is the data's not clean because, well, we couldn't get it from the CFO, so Bob built his own database, and we're pulling it from there, and that's how we're getting project data, because we're using his financial data because, well, CFO won't give it to us, right? And they won't give it up because they're not sure it's clean, because they don't want somebody to go, well, that's not the right numbers. So understanding the data where it's important, and AI is really not an IT function anymore, right? It's got to be an enterprise function. Yes, each silo keeps its data, but you need to be able to pull that authoritative data out from those organizations. And we got to stop, well, I'm the CFO, you're the IT guy, I'm not telling you how much you're getting money for it, and I'm not telling you how much my stuff actually costs for my contractors to develop it. Right? That AI need, if you're going to get good AI data, you got to be able to pass that data back and forth. So you get that, you get through that, and you find out that your data's good, you cleaned it. Are you using the right AI? Right? And I hope there's no CIOs in the room, but we've all heard that. We were just talking about that before this started. Your CIO comes to the GovAI and comes back to the agency and says, we're going to use AI because they said it'll do everything. Okay, what AI are you using? Are you using a chatbot for what? Right? Are you using um, are you using LLMs? What are you using? Well, I don't know. I just want AI. Right? So we got to make sure we're using the right ones. So understanding the difference for chatbots primarily focus on conversational interactions and predefined scripts where you have other AI agents designed to actually do a process. Um, it's important. It's important to do the right one if you're going to do that. It came out in Copilot, right? Less than I think it. Now Copilot's the big. Well, Microsoft says it's good. Well, it's not good for everything, but it does help. And this is a big one. Do your agents talk to each other? Um, we say it's kind of like an orchestra, or do you just have a bunch of people playing their own instrument and they're really good at it, but none of them are playing the same song? How do you get that right? They have to be able to talk. To have an enterprise AI solution, you've got to at some point get your agents to talk to each other. And again, that goes back to you can't hide your financial data over here and your IT data over there and your HR data over there, and then say to the executive, well, we got AI, you can do it, because he's not going to want to pull from 6, 7 agents and then try to figure it out, because now you're just pushing that analysis further up the chain instead of at his staff level. So they got to be able to talk together. So what is the proper AI agent ecosystem? All AI agents there are tailored to workflows and tools of that language, right? So what is it that you're trying to accomplish? And they got to be cost effective, right? They got to be, you can't bring AI in and then say, I'm going to do, like an old infrastructure guy, we're going to do LLMs. Well, that's great. Do you have the infrastructure that can do it? No, we're going to buy all that too. Well, what are you doing? Well, we write this report monthly to our customers, so we wanted to do that. Well, you're wasting a lot of money for what you're going to get in return on investment. You're using AI, but is it worth it? Right? You could still pay your employees to do the same thing. And then, can it scale? It's easy. It's easy. Everybody will sell you an AI agent that will do the one thing you want to do today, but tomorrow, and you want to scale it. Well, now we got to go back and recode, or it doesn't scale, or it only does this one project. So, how many of you have seen that? You've seen it. It's 30 years of federal service. More than once, I've had stuff come in, all kinds of IT technology come in, wouldn't scale once you got it there. So common challenges. What have we seen? Technical challenges, data quality and availability. There's a lot of data in organizations. Some of it's good, some of it's not. And do you have the right people in your agency to go find that data and say, this is good quality data? Can they look at it? Do they know it? And then the complexity of integration, just getting it into your system. And if you're a Fed service, making sure that it's FedRAMPed, or at least NIST compliant. Does it hit your standards? Is it being developed? Have you ran through all your security checks? Because a lot of that will come in, are your coders all US coders, right? Are they US citizens? Those are the type of things that start running into when we start talking about AI and bringing agents in. Building reliable AI actions. Does it do what you expect it to do every time? And who's checking that? Right? AI is not a end all be all without any human interaction. Somebody's still got to check. My wife's a retired mathematician. We went to college at the same time, and my thing's like, well, why do I need to know how to do this? I got a computer. I can type in Excel. I can get the number I need. No, you need to know why you do it, so you know that the number you're getting is correct. Same with AI. You need to understand your data, what the agent's doing, so you know whether that data is correct. Somebody still has to look at it. You can just get faster. You don't have to do all the work, but you need to be able to look at it and say, this makes sense or it doesn't. Again, because AI will give you an answer, right? AI never comes back and says, I don't know. it will write you an answer and say, here's the answer. And then monitoring and observability of your gaps. Where are you missing stuff? Did it pick up data? Did it not pick up data? Are you starting to see the issues? And versioning and model drift. We see a lot of, I want to do this. Anybody in IT has seen this, right? And then the next person comes in and goes, well, do you think we could add this to it? Well, what about this? Well, could it do this? Can it pull from over here? You got, if you're going to do these, start out small, grab one, write your requirements, stay in scope, don't let it drift, and version this one, then worry about doing the next version. And then you got your business and organizational challenges, lack of clear objectives. Again, that goes back to PMP. So I just want AI. Why? Well, because we need it to do what? Well, we want our businesses to be more efficient. Okay, that's all sounds good. What does that mean? What are you looking for? And then employee resistance. We're all still in that. We're on this AI hype curve, and we haven't even peaked at the top of the hype curve yet. And you have a lot of staff, especially the federal agencies, scared to death that AI is taking their business over. Who in your organization is right? And it can't be the management staff. They're not believing the management. Don't worry, we're not gonna rip you. Your job's not going away because of AI. Staff's not believing it. So who you got in that staff group that's working this that says, hey, look, it's helpful, right? It's a tool. How do you? That's going to be the biggest thing, right? That's actually should be the number one on every AI slide. Is do your employees and do your staff, have they bought into it? Because it doesn't matter how good the AI tool is, if they don't buy into it, it's not going anywhere. It will be sabotaged all along the way. And then you're going to get every time something comes out, because we all know AI hallucinates. See, AI doesn't work. See, AI is wrong. And along with that comes from the management team. If you put AI and you're giving your staff AI, you gotta give them some leeway when they bring you something that's not correct, right? Because you gave them the tool, you can't. Well, you don't know what you're doing. Well, you gave me the tool to do AI. I did it. This is what it came out with. I checked it. It looked right to me. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. And then the other thing we see is a lot of is an underestimated need for training. It's AI. It tells you what to do, right? How hard can it be? Just ChatGPT, just write your stuff. Just put your prompt in. Well, there's some nuance to how to write your prompts to get what you're looking for. I think my mother's 80. She just got her first computer. She loves ChatGPT. You try to find stuff. But her first thing is like, I can't find what I'm looking for. Why is the computer can't tell me? Well, what are you typing in? Well, I want a blue dress. Okay. And it keeps showing me these little skinny girls. Well, you got to tell it kind of what you're looking for, right? And that's the same with all your data. You kind of got to do the prompts. So somebody's got to train your staff how to do what are the prompts they're doing to put in? What are they expecting the outcome? What's it look like? And then ethical and bias concerns. Right? We've seen this, but there's bias in AI. There's always bias in AI because every programmer has a bias of some type. Right? I'm an IT infrastructure guy. You ask if I'm writing an AI program agent to help you develop your infrastructure, I'm going to lean more towards maybe moving you to the cloud. So my AI agent's going to be more cloud centric, more cloud focused than worrying about opening a new data center, because I was told by the federal government I can't open any new data centers. Even though that may be the best case scenario, but we need to understand those biases and what they mean and how to watch out for them. And then data privacy and security risk. I can say this because we're all, well, maybe I'll put the camera there. We're all the older generation where privacy meant a lot to us. As we've got more into social media now, we've seen less concern about the privacy until it happens. Right? Then all of a sudden the screen, but in the meantime, it's not really, doesn't seem to be an issue. As that people bring in AI in, we got to watch that, right? We got to make sure that we're not on the front page of the news about letting privacy out. I think I'm close. close to my last slide. So there's our contact information. My CEO, she's roaming around here today, Ashley Nicholson. I'm the chief marketing officer. That's my information there. So I asked Avenir back in 2 years ago, as I was doing the training center down in Chattanooga, doing our infrastructure, where everything's IT. Well, we want to know how to pre-screen people so they don't have to everybody doesn't have to take 7 weeks of class to be an inspector, right? If you worked at power plant 30 years, why are you taking the same class as somebody who's just got their college degree? So I brought them on and said, okay, look, it's an IT issue. We need to figure out AI, how to do this. We start bringing them on, and then I retired. Retired in March by the administration, and now I'm retired and furloughed. So, because my retirement doesn't go out till December, right? Because you're in deferred retirement. But I went out and found a job like was recommended. So that's how I do marketing because we're like here, we're looking more into government. Avenir has done a lot of private work in private companies and some state work, and as most contractors, some DoD work. But we're trying to look at that federal sector where AI is really going to be helpful. And Jerry has a CTO, which is way smarter than I am with AI technology. But I'm hoping, because, we hear emotional AI. We've seen it. We can see some of the things here. My mom gets on the phone and starts talking to it. She doesn't realize it's not a person on the other end because it sounds so real, right? And you can even get more. They even ask you the question. And yeah, that was. I had a really rough day yesterday too. She doesn't get that that's an AI talking to her, and it's just been more of a conversational tone. So part of what I want to do is get into agencies and tell them and help people understand from the marketing perspective. AI's here. It's coming. We're not going to stop it. Let's get the requirements right. Let's do it correctly. Let's not sell a product. Let's help agencies get there. And I'm hoping all vendors do the same thing. We're not trying to sell your product as much as what is it that you need, and let's help get there, because we need to get this as a group. And we're all here today for that. And this week, we need it as a group to get there and say, okay, let's move AI forward in an ethical way, knowing there's biases, knowing that there's concerns, and that it could really hurt business decisions if not done properly. And it only takes a couple to push the whole AI piece back years, right? It only takes a couple big companies to fail at AI to push it all back, or to be in the news because AI did something strange. And we're starting to see it. The AI that the kid got handcuffs put on because he had a Doritos bag and they picked it up as a gun. Right? It only takes a couple of them for people to everybody start going like, well, I'm not, especially federal service, we're not going to put that in here because we don't want to be the next one. So I'm trying to lead that from example from any company like Avenir to say, hey, from a marketing perspective, let's be honest about what it does, and let's be honest that it hallucinates, and it's not the perfect answer. You're going to still have to look at it from a human perspective, go through it, and say, yes, but maybe you get your data quicker than you would have, and you'll get research that maybe you haven't looked at for years because it's back in some storage that Joe did before he retired, and nobody really liked Joe, so they just put it on the shelf, or it's in some database that he had, and nobody remembers it. But we've seen it cycle through. Nothing's new, right? Nothing's like any problem we run across in federal government service or public sector or the private sector. It's not new. We've all lived those, and we've all had to do the hot washes and the lessons learned. And we do them. People sign off, say, "Oh, good. Now we know why your project failed," and they go put it away. Right? And then the next person gets a project, and they don't go back and go, "Oh, well, we didn't have funding, or we didn't have that." AI can help do that as long as we do it correctly. it's so hard to do the metadata wrapper to make it correct. Like, can't I just type it and put it in there? Do I really? Because, so like I said, I ran the infrastructure in the databases. So we had the agency's document repository. And one of the first forms you fill out is, what's this have? Some keywords. And well, people are like, well, I can just put it in there and just say it's an official document. I don't have to do all the keywords. We're going to put 2 in there. Well, that's great too. You're now going to look at them and realize there's no metadata around it to tell you what it really is. Right. Yeah, and especially the summaries where somebody just writes, this was my document I was told to write. So if I'm just said, if my agent says, go find summaries and tell me what's out there, it's just going to skip that one as a non, and it could be a very important document. So, yeah, and I think we'll see more and more. But again, AI is here, but it all goes back to the beginning. Where's your data? Is it clean? Because that's what it's for, right? AI is great as long as the data is great. And early days, right? Garbage in, garbage out. Now it's just garbage in, garbage out quicker. Yeah, faster. And looks better because AI will make it look nice. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it all. So go tell them these are good requirements. We're always here. We can help. Get your PMs. Have them gather requirements before you just throw an AI system out there. And let's keep this working together because we need this to move forward. It's going to move, right? It's just how quickly do we get it there? That's all I got for you. Thanks.